Since the Qatar 2022 World Cup is over, let us compare it with the 2018 Russian one. So many people have been saying that this is the best group stage World Cup ever because of how many surprises are there and so many teams that have that were not expected to qualified. So let us compare it with the 2018 one. In Group A, we had Uruguay, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt, and there were no surprises because everybody expected Uruguay and Russia to qualify. But Saudi Arabia had 3 points, but they beat Egypt, so there was no big result there. And the other group is Spain, Portugal, Iran, Morocco. Morocco qualified as the bottom of the group, and now you have seen in 2022 they have qualified as top of the group. But Spain, Portugal, as usual, many people predicted it as maybe they predicted Portugal number 1 and Spain number 2, but they had the best game, the 3-3 draw with Ronaldo scoring the hat-trick, but no surprises there. Group C had France, Denmark, Peru, and Australia, and this one also no much that much of a shock because everybody expected France and Denmark to qualify, and now Denmark have gone home and Australia have qualified. So another point for Qatar. And in this one, Croatia, Argentina, Nigeria, and Iceland. This was kind of surprising because people expected Argentina to be number 1, but they qualified as number 2. So this was kind of surprising, but the people expected Croatia and Argentina to qualify, and they qualified. In this group, they had in Group E, they had Brazil, Switzerland, Serbia, and Costa Rica. People expected Brazil and Switzerland to qualify, and they qualified. And the other group, it was Sweden, Mexico, South Korea, and Germany. This was the most surprising one, as South Korea and Germany went home. And Germany, after that World Cup, they went home, and as the same as this season, they were not at their best. So this one was the most surprising one, as Sweden and Mexico topped the group, and Mexico this time went home. Group G had Belgium, Tunisia, and England and Panama. This was the easiest group for Belgium and England, but this time, as you have seen the World Cup, Belgium went home, and they were the most disappointing in them and Germany. So this one, they topped the group in 2018 with Belgium as number 1 and England as number 2. Nothing shocking there. And in Group H, it was Colombia, Japan, Senegal, and Poland. This one was hard to predict because most of the teams are on the same level, but Colombia and Japan went through. So now let us talk about the results and the matches in the group stage. So the big results are, the first one is Russia versus Saudi Arabia. Russia won 5-0 comfortable against Saudi Arabia, and as you can see, there's no surprises in this one, as Morocco are defeated by Iran 3-3, the most entertaining game. There are 2 surprises here, as Argentina drew with Iceland. People did not expect that, and Germany lost to Mexico. And for this one, and these are the other results, so no big surprises here. Belgium comfortable, all the other teams are very comfortable. Yeah, the first big match and the first shock in the World Cup, it was Argentina lost 3-0 to Croatia. That was a big game, and Argentina lost very badly. And here the other matches, no teams that no unexpected team won, so every team won comfortable that everyone expected. Belgium winning 5. And here, no big surprises. Maybe they draw with Spain, Morocco, and Uruguay defeating Russia, the host, 3-0. Maybe that's a surprise. Also, Saudi Arabia defeating Egypt. Not a big surprise, but also it was a surprise. Here, South Korea defeated Germany 2-0. And Sweden won 3-0 against Mexico. So I think the biggest surprise here was South Korea against Germany. Now let us compare it to the Qatar World Cup. And the first game was the host losing 2-0 against Ecuador. The first time that happened, that is a big one. And Argentina lost to Saudi Arabia. And that is also a big one. Tunisia 0-0, not that much of a big one. So this one, not the biggest surprise was Saudi Arabia, Argentina, and that was very much celebrated. Yeah, and this one, another surprise one was Germany lost to Japan 2-1, and Germany for that game they scored the first goal, and Japan came back, and that was the biggest surprise there. And for this one, England drew with USA 0-0, New Zealand drew also. But Australia won 1-0 against Tunisia. Another shock is Japan, who won against Germany, lost to Costa Rica 1-0. Belgium lost 2-0 to Morocco. And Germany drew with 1-1, not that much of a surprise. Cameroon came back after being 3-1 down, and Ghana won against South Korea 3-2. Another big shock, Tunisia defeated France, and Australia won against Denmark. Also, USA won against Iran. Not much of a shock, but that was a very important game for USA. And the last games were Croatia 0-0, and Morocco won as they topped the group. Germany won, but they went out. Japan won against Spain, the biggest game there. Japan and Spain were ahead and they came back. Cameroon won against Brazil. So now we can comfortably say that Qatar 2022 has been far better than the 2018 World Cup. And although 2018 World Cup was also so good, but the Qatar one had so many controversies, so many moments, so many teams, unexpected teams qualifying. Morocco finished last in the last World Cup, now they are finishing top. And Japan coming back against Spain and Germany and losing to Costa Rica. And Japan, the only reason Japan are through is because of this moment. But they fought hard. Japan really deserved it. I think Japan, for them to qualify, we had to see Japan in the round of 16 because they played so well and they were one of the most impressive teams. And at a moment we had Japan and Costa Rica qualify and Spain and Germany going home. I think Germany had a disappointing one, but this has been the best World Cup so far in my opinion. I think it just tops, in terms of group stage, it tops the Brazilian one by a small bit, but it has been really good. But 2010, I think I watched 2010 small bit, so I can't remember a lot. 2014 is the one, but 2010 I was like 10 years old. 2014 is the one I remember it so well. 2018 I completely remember it, and this one has been the best one. 2022 Qatar was the best one. After so many controversies, so many policies, so many things, they delivered, and they delivered one of the best World Cups so far.